Introducing Team 5, Christopher Buchkowski, David Stocks, Guillermo Barraro, Mateus Años, Pamela Miner, Richard Parker, Shalifa Ramdas. Capstone winners for 2021, Team 3. Best presenter, Carla Truitt. Most convincing, Carmen Nash. Most knowledgeable, Todd Thaniel.
I'm Chris Gardner. Some of you may recognize me. A few years ago, some young actor named Will Smith portrayed me in a film called The Pursuit of Happiness. Well, I'm here to tell you, I am still pursuing happiness to this day. And I'm very, very happy to have the opportunity to be with all of you today as graduates of the Clark Construction Strategic Partnership Program 2021. This probably looks and feels a little bit different than we all thought it would look and feel when we started out on this journey. But let me tell you something. This space that we're all in right now, this is where we have all had to make a very hard pivot. And a hard pivot being defined simply as something you would have never chosen, but you still got to make it work. The entire planet had to make a hard pivot in 2020 as a result of COVID and the pandemic. But I will submit to you that for a lot of us, this is not our first hard pivot. A lot of us have been having to make hard pivots for a long time. I won't bore you with a lot of things about myself, but I get to check a lot of boxes on the hard pivot index. Abandoned child, foster care, mom in prison, never met his father, domestic violence survivor, sexual assault survivor, never went to college, veteran, single parent, homeless, entrepreneur, and Black. And I said Black last because I got this free. This is the original packaging right here. My point is, some of you all out there get to check some of those boxes. So this is not our first hard pivot. We've been here before, but now in this space, as we go forward, I got to share with you. We're going to be playing in this space for some time into the future. 3 things are certain about where we all are right now. Number 1, we've all had our worlds rocked at the very same time. Number 2, no one knows how long these new changes are going to be with us. And number 3, we're all going to come out of this with some new scar tissue. And scar tissue is beautiful. I say that because scar tissue is the signature of survival. And as we go forward, this whole idea of playing in what I call atomic time. Let me explain that concept just a little bit. Atomic time. We may all be in different places geographically, politically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, but chronologically, we're all living in the same space. Atomic time. Meaning we've all got to be engaged in a passionate pursuit to the nth degree. It's atomic time for all of us. We're fighting to protect our health. We're fighting to protect our families. Some of us are fighting to protect our businesses and livelihoods. Some of us are fighting to protect our dreams. This is the time that we got. Of all the things that 2020 taught all of us, the one thing that's absolutely undeniable is that none of us knows how much time we've got left on the clock. This is the time to be doing our best work. The space and time that we're in right now makes me mindful of a conversation that I had with my dear friend, Dr. Maya Angelou. As a matter of fact, it was the last conversation she and I ever had. We were talking about struggle and progress, and I will never forget her saying to me, we must all be mindful that we have the people for this mountain. We must all be mindful that there were people who came before us, who came up a steeper side of this mountain, carrying a bigger and heavier load with little to no opportunity, but they kept going forward, onward, and upward. And still I rise. This has been done before, people, but now it's our turn. And I will submit to you, we all learned some things in 2020 that we're going to have in our proverbial toolbox, in our literal toolbox for the rest of our lives. One of the things that we got to have in that toolbox is we got to have a plan A. And not just a plan, but what is plan A? I will submit to you the most important thing that you can do after you hear this message. Just sit down with a pen and paper and write it out. What is my plan A? And when you're talking about doing something, like building a business, something that you're truly passionate about, there is no plan B. In my earlier works, one of my earlier books, Start Where You Are, I put forth this concept of having a plan A and this idea of something I call the C5 complex. And the best plan A's all have the C5 complex. Your plan A must be clear, concise, compelling, consistent, and committed. And when you're doing something that you're truly passionate about, there is no plan B. I'm recording this message to you from Chicago. Just a few local examples. Michael Jordan has got 6 NBA championship rings because he was committed to plan A, not plan B. Oprah Winfrey became the queen of all media because she was committed to plan A, not plan B. Whatever your politics are, Barack Obama served 2 terms as president of the United States because he was committed to plan A, not plan B. Somebody need to write this down. Plan B sucks. Man, if plan B was any good, it'd be plan A. Plan B distracts from plan A. The most important thing you can do right now is sit down and write a plan A. Because this space that we're in right now, this people is going to happen again. And when you're making that plan A, ask yourself, what did I learn in 2020 that I'm going to have in my toolbox for the rest of my business and my personal life? This is the time. And I will submit to you, as we go forward in trying to build our businesses, build our communities, and help and love our families, we're going to have to take a lot of baby steps as we continue to go forward. We all want to take strides, right? And we take strides when the path is clear, where there's no obstacles, there's no distractions, no detours, no congestion. We take strides. But sometimes you got to take baby steps when you don't know. You got to take baby steps in the rain. I'll never forget hearing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once speaking on progress 50 years ago. And what he said 50 years ago is probably more important today than it was when he said it. What he said speaking on progress was, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but you got to keep going forward. To which I will add that baby steps count too. Any way that you can make them, as long as you're going forward. I would use the words shared with me by one of my favorite rappers in a conversation many, many years ago, talking about the notorious B.I.G. We were speaking about struggle, and out of no place, Biggie says, you got to go forward. Through the fire, through the pain, baby steps in the rain, while all about you are being the same. Be the player, not the game. For Clark Construction, I'm Chris Carter. Peace, power, and prayer.
Congratulations, graduates. Keep moving forward. Best wishes for a bright and prosperous future.